Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the December 18, 2025 Planning Board meeting. We're glad to have you with us this evening. Happy holidays to each and every one of you. Ms. Washington, may we have a... I'm looking at Milton. Could we please have a roll call?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Mr. Weatherholt. Here. Ms. Washington, present. Mr. McLean.
Here.
Mr. Robinson.
Here.
Mr. Servance. Mr. Barhu.
Present.
Very good. I believe we have a quorum.
You have a quorum, Mr.
Very
Chair.
good, Madam Secretary. Thank you. We will move on to item number 3, the approval of the minutes of the November 20th, 2025 Planning Board meeting. May I have a motion for
Make a
said?
motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Any citizens that would like to address the board concerning any item on the agenda, we ask you to fill out the green comment form that I have in my hand. When you come to the lectern, please state your name and address for the record. There is a time limit of 3 minutes, but of course, if you can make your point in under 3 minutes, we will not say no to that. So, moving forward on to item 4A. Kayla Lee, good to see you. Can we hear from staff, please?
Item 4.
Well, what do you think? Well, it's the Christmas season. I think, Madam Secretary, how do you feel about it? Do you think we should do that? What's your thoughts?
Why, certainly.
Let's go and do that then.
Why change now? The year's almost over.
Exactly.
Item 4A, Second Amendment to Sunglow Mini Storage Complex.
No.
Do I not have the right one? Not that one.
That's the minutes.
Uh-oh. Okay. I turned too many pages. I apologize.
It happens to the best of us. I'm certainly can't say anything. I was going to skip the whole item completely, so.
Item number 3, approval of minutes.
All right.
And then?
Number 4.
Down to number 4A.
Okay.
We'll get there. No problem. Take your time.
I'll get it right before we leave. Second Amendment to Midwest Transit,
Here we
Inc.
go.
Plan Development General, PDG, DEV 2025-396, quasi judicial hearing.
Outstanding. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Can we hear from staff?
Yes.
Please.
Good evening, Danley Pettick, Senior Planner. This item is a request to amend the Midwest Transit, Inc. Plan Master Development Agreement to add development criteria for townhomes and expand the areas within the PD where residential development can occur. So the property is located north of International Speedway Boulevard and west of Tomoka Farms Road. The future land use of the property is mixed use, and the zoning is the Midwest Transit PD, which will remain. And this is the aerial, which shows the property is mostly vacant. So the property was originally rezoned to plan development in 2014 for a mixed-use development with commercial, light industrial, and residential uses. In 2022, the First Amendment to the PD was approved to expand the areas where light industrial uses could develop. The property remains largely undeveloped, with the exception of the racetrack gas station on the south end of the property, which was completed in 2016. So now the applicant is requesting the Second Amendment to add development criteria for townhomes, which are an existing permitted use in the PD, and expand the areas where residential development can occur in the PD. So these are the proposed changes, as aforementioned. The development criteria, revise the infrastructure language in the PD agreement to account for residential subdivisions, and revise the master development plan to allow residential land uses in Lot D of the PD. So first is adding the development criteria for the townhomes. As stated, townhomes are already permitted use in the PD, so this amendment will provide the development standards such as setbacks, lot size, building height, accessory structure standards should a townhome development occur. Next is the amendment includes additional language to various portions of the infrastructure section of the PD agreement to provide for the development and maintenance of infrastructure should a residential development occur. The original PD did not contemplate a residential subdivision. It was more for single ownership residential. So this language is necessary in the event that a residential area is platted. Third, the amendment revises the master development plan to allow residential land uses on Lot D of the PD. So this is the revised master development plan, and zoomed in is the allowable land use matrix, which is from that plan, showing where they've added Lot D to the residential uses. And the revised development plan zoomed in is here, it's just showing you the location of Lot D. So finally, no modifications or waivers from the Land Development Code are proposed with this amendment. So with that, staff recommends the planning board forward the second amendment to the Midwest Transit Inc. Planned Master Development Agreement to the City Commission with the recommendation of approval. A majority vote by the planning board members present and voting is required to forward a recommendation to the City Commission. And the item is tentatively scheduled to be heard by City Commission for first reading on February 4th, 2026, and second reading on February 18th, 2026. So thank you.
Thank you. Just confirm this, the property itself is vacant except for that racetrack gas station on the
That's
south
correct.
end, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, any questions for
Yes.
staff? Please.
Since this was laid out in 2014, was there any extensions to be added to this?
Well, the most recent major amendment was in 2022, so that's where the expiration is coming from, is 2022 date. I'm not sure if there were like any specific extensions. I don't remember what it says. I don't think so, but I think it had a pretty long lead time anyway.
Isn't that quite a long time to let that go without, since it was planned for single-family homes?
It was
Is there a
planned for
change?
it was planned for multifamily and townhomes under single ownership. So this is allowing them to do fee simple townhomes,
Okay.
more or less. So it was rental property before.
Because usually, in a zoning area, it usually goes for 5 years. And this is a little bit longer. Matter of fact, it's the longest one I've ever seen.
At the time the city commission, and this was approved back in 2014, and if you recall back then, the economy was just starting to pick up, and the city commission extended this and allowed a greater lead time for development. A lot of times, the first trigger for development is the submittal of the construction plans and the first phase, and in this case, the racetrack gas station did get developed, so it kind of triggered that, so it allowed this development to keep going. So it is still a valid PD.
And the major amendment in 2022 as well.
Yeah, correct.
Any other questions for Dana Lee? Thank you. And here comes the applicant. I don't even have to say, come on up. You've got this down.
I didn't bring my Christmas tie, and I'm really sorry.
He is ready.
I meant to come with the theme, Tony, so I'm sorry I
it's a
forgot the
holiday
Christmas
season, we
tie.
understand.
Rob Merrill for the record, One Day Tona Boulevard with Cobb Cole. And I've got Courtney Barker here with me from Resi Build Homes. And they are, in fact, intending to build on part of the property, the townhomes that are part of the criteria that's being changed. I think what happened, first of all, to answer your question or to clarify a little bit, this is a project that was done in 2014 that had a lot of uses. We've got industrial, we've got all sorts of, so the multifamily piece was a part of it, and we just somehow didn't get to the place where we drilled down on the standards for the townhomes, if and when they came along. Now they're here. So we're just clearing this up. So it's really, this is a clarification amendment. We're not adding any uses, we're not adding any density, we're not asking for any waivers. Overton, I know you hate them. So we're really here sort of as a Christmas celebration, guys. So since I won't see you till next month, Merry Christmas. And if you have any questions for us, I've got Randy Hudak here in case you've got engineering questions.
Thank you.
Actually-
Any questions for Ron? Please.
I have a question about the access to the project.
Sure.
With the road being what it is, there's mention of putting a extra lane or something in.
So there's frontage roads components to this project. It's a big project, 200-something acres. So
Sure is.
we've made it so there's not going to be a driveway at every part of the project, every piece of it. And so our total acreage on this piece itself is going to be how much, guys, for the townhomes? Yeah. So it's a decent sized chunk of the 200 and something. But we are going to have, I think the frontage roads will connect across. Randy, if you want to clarify, just to nod your head, you don't have to get up. Yeah. So
Because on Old Tomoka, we've talked about it forever. The county has no plans on 4-lane it. They have no funds to 4-lane it.
We've actually been working with the county, and that's one of the reasons why we have the frontage road, to limit the amount of access points onto Tomoka Farms Road, and that's going to be part of the development. So
And so you've
when
been
they move
in
forward.
conversations with the
Oh, yeah.
county
Oh, yeah.
about,
We talk to them regularly about development that would occur in this area and the best way for it to happen. And that's why we started this conversation when the PD was originally approved with a frontage road and limiting access, and we've continued that theme as we moved forward.
because we have double developments on each side of the road. And, with the way that the signalization is there, the market, it's kind of a terrible situation for traffic. And whether they're going to do something with that one light, the way it's situated back from International Drive, it's always a hazard. And when you put more traffic in there, so close vicinity to it, whether there's any conversation with the county and DOT.
And this road is going to be parallel to Tomoka Farms. That
Yes.
is
Yeah,
the
the
thought
frontage will
process,
be,
which
will be
makes sense.
parallel. And if you're speaking of Tomoka Farms Road, south of ISB, there are plans for the improvements that are part of the Waypoint development that was approved.
Yes.
That includes correcting a lot of the things that are going on over that intersection. So a lot of that will be cleaned up.
Right
and
there
it's in the
across from
process.
where the trailers are parked and, and that signalization coming out.
Yeah, there's a plan to make that correction already in place, and it's already, the Waypoint development has already paid their proportionate share to be used to do those improvements for that intersection over where Bellevue, Tomoka Farms and ISB kind of meet.
Okay.
And to kind of echo what I was saying before, we're not changing any of that. All that's already been put in place in 2014, and we're not changing that. We're simply dealing with the criteria for the townhome themselves, setbacks, building heights, and all that kind of stuff.
Anything else for Rob?
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
sir. Are there any speakers for or against this item? I don't have any green forms as of now. Seeing none, I will ask for a motion on item 4A, please.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve agenda item 4A, Plan Development General, PDG, Amendment DB 2025-396, Second Amendment Midwest Transit Inc.
Thank you, sir. Do you have a
I'll
second?
second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Passes unanimously.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, Rob.
I don't have the roll.
Love the roll. I trust you. Moving on to item 4B.
But I
Madam Secretary,
need
have you lost that item?
Yes.
Did it disappear?
Well, I can, no. I don't have the
It can
roll.
happen to the best of us.
Tomorrow, who votes if he doesn't?
Oh.
It's there.
I'll make sure I didn't dump it in mine.
Oh, I took,
Mr. Vice Chairman.
hey, I like
going
that,
on
Okay, now,
Multiple jobs there, sir.
I'd like to know who made the motion on that.
I did.
Tony, and I believe Mr.
And
Robinson second.
Robinson second. We may proceed.
I'm so glad. Could we read item 4B, please?
Excuse me, item 4B, Our Lady of Lords Academy Gym, special use permit DEV 2024-721, quasi judicial hearing.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, before we hear from staff, I did want to bring up an issue that Mr. Robinson addressed with me prior to the meeting. He raised a concern. He is a member of the church, attends the church, and was concerned about a potential conflict of interest. I did some research, reviewing some ethics opinions. I don't believe under the circumstances, he's not like a deacon or a member of a finance committee.
He's not involved with the decision-making
Correct.
process.
So it's nothing that inures to his special private gain or that of he's not an agent of the church. And so there's no voting conflict. The Sunshine Law actually does require you to vote if there's no voting conflict, except when we're dealing with a quasi-judicial proceeding, which this is. And so he has the option to abstain from voting, and I believe, my understanding is that is what he wishes to do, but I'll let him speak to that.
Yeah,
I attend services there. I'm not naturally a board member or anything, and I just want to make sure that it's known.
Gentlemen, this is bad math,
So
if you know what's happening.
If you look at section 2.2 of the Land Development Code, the voting requirements are that it's an affirmative vote of a majority of planning board members present and voting. And so that doesn't affect the quorum. We have a quorum. And so if both Mr. Robinson and Mr. Weatherholtz abstain from voting, it won't affect the quorum. We can still hear, it would just be a majority of the remaining board members that vote on the item that would be
Thank you
sufficient
for
to
that
move it along
clarification.
to the city commission. So.
Yeah, we didn't want to have an appearance, any appearance
impropriety. Certainly
impropriety or
understandable.
impartiality. And, you know, I believe our constituents, the people that we represent, expects a much higher standard of ethics.
Understood, sir. And I'm assuming, Mr. Weatherholtz, you feel the same?
I'm planning on voting,
It's okay.
and,
right.
that's just,
That seems to be okay. You
Okay.
can do that. As long as you don't steal the information
paperwork,
from our secretary, please. Yes, that's
she's
all we ask.
pulled it away from me.
Okay. Betty, anything else, David? On that, all right, thank you. Back to you, please.
Thank you. So good evening, Dana Lee Pettick, Senior Planner again. This item is a request for a special use permit on a 9.84 acre parcel zone single family residential 5 to allow a place of worship use on the property to bring the existing church into compliance and allow the construction of a gymnasium associated with the church's school. So the property is located at 1014 Halifax Avenue and 201 University Boulevard. The future land use on the property is school. The current zoning is single-family residential 5. And this is the aerial property, which shows the existing church campus. So the church was originally constructed sometime in the 1970s and has operated continuously since as a church with an associated school. There was no approved special use permit allowing the church use found in the city's records, so the church is operating as a legal nonconforming use. Because of this, any expansion or modification to the existing uses requires a special use permit to bring the property into compliance and to allow these place of worship use, and also allow them to construct the gymnasium that they would like to. So, as I said, part of the special use permit request includes constructing a 13,061 square foot gymnasium for the Lourdes Academy portion of the property. And no other changes to the church portion of the site are proposed with this special use permit. So this is the conceptual site plan for the proposed gymnasium here. And this is the rendering showing the proposed design of the gymnasium building. So the special use permit is subject to the special use permit review standards in the Land Development Code. And staff finds the requested special use permit meets the review standards as the church has existed for several years. And this will bring the property into compliance and allow the construction of a gymnasium associated with the church's school. Per the applicant, there are no planned expansions of the student population or the church's offerings with this additional building. So therefore, staff recommends the planning board forward the special use permit to allow a place of worship use as a permitted use for an existing church on a 9.84 acre parcel zone single family residential 5 to the city commission with a recommendation of approval. And this item is tentatively scheduled to be heard by city commission for final consideration on February 4th, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Dana Lee? Seeing none, thank you. Can we hear from the applicant, please? Name and address for the record, if you would, sir.
Steve Buswell with Parker Minchenberg and Associates. We're the engineer of record as well as the landscape architects for the project. Thank you, Dana Lee, for kind of getting us here in the detailed staff report. Kind of one of the things I wanted to note is kind of the gymnasium is pretty much proposed where there's an existing outdoor basketball court. So the location and the purpose really is for the safety of the students. If there's weather in the area, it allows them kind of a place to, still have PE, recreation and so forth, but at least in a covered building. So we have the architect here, Tom Mikowski from BPF, as well as Miss Debbie Whalens from the diocese. So here to answer questions. I could handle the engineering portion of it, and pretty much that's it. Merry Christmas.
All right, back at you, Steve. Let me ask you a question. I believe all of us have received communication regarding the gymnasium as far as its possible use as a shelter, particularly a homeless shelter. Is there anyone who can speak to that to discuss, to be able to perhaps exclude that use off the gymnasium? So,
This
we're
is,
so glad you're here. That's going to make life a lot easier for us. If you wouldn't mind, Steve.
sure.
Name and address for the record, if you would. Young lady, please.
Hi, my name is Debbie Whalen. I represent the owner, Diocese of Orlando. We have also heard comments about that. And the gym is a gym. It is for students only. Our school associate superintendent, as well as the superintendent, does not allow, we can't mix uses like that. It's against our policy. We can't have a homeless shelter and also have kids play sports there. We have a safe environment, and it would not allow for that use. So internally, we don't allow for that.
So let me ask you then, that being the case of what you just said, if our approval excludes the shelter use, you're not going to have an issue with that?
We would not have an issue with it. And the church does have some benefits for homeless people. There's a food pantry and stuff, so we do serve them, but it will not be through the gym as a homeless shelter. So we would not take any, that'd be great. Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Please.
Miss Whelan. Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
A question, or even Dennis might. If there's a cold night, okay, temperature is minus 10 degrees, would the church itself be prohibited from opening up the church doors to allow people outside to come in out of the cold?
Well, you're asking stuff above my pay grade, but it is the bishop's intention that that would be taken care of under Catholic Charities or other such services. We don't, as a policy, do that.
But the church could open up the doors to let the homeless in if it's cold and, they're
I
freezing out.
don't think risk management would approve that.
Okay.
Because we're taking on liability that we would not want to take on. So it's my understanding that it would not be allowed. I don't know that it has ever happened. If it has, it hasn't been brought to our attention.
Let me jump in here real quick and ask David. David, would there be any standards from, say, a county or a state standpoint, from an emergency standpoint, that they would be told to do
Yeah, I mean,
that?
typically that, if there was state of emergency declared, I mean, that would be something that would apply to public facilities, not to,
Any public facility?
yeah, not, it wouldn't apply to the churches.
Church
Okay.
itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I just want to make sure we made that distinction.
yeah.
If I could add on that.
Please do.
The church has never opened it up, so far that I'm aware of. There was some discussion about having something in the documents. We got a letter from one of the ladies that lives in the neighborhood. And I think that with the gymnasium, it's going to be an excellent addition, and I think it's sorely needed. And I don't think that there would be any problem with housing or anything like that in the church. It doesn't have any showers, bathrooms, or anything, and that wouldn't be allowable to start off with without any facilities like that.
And if we have kids, we wouldn't be able to mix adults with the
But you
kids.
can't
without-
have children and
Right,
that.
we can't
You
mix.
can't let that happen.
Policy.
You're right.
So, but it is our intention, this is a recreation and sports space specifically for the children. So that
But,
is our intent.
I do believe we should consider being definitive and saying in our approval that we will exclude shelters. notwithstanding your standards that you already have, just so there's no ambiguity and all sides understand that that particular use is not allowed. And are we, so that is, at least that is my opinion, that we should go in that direction. Anything else?
Yeah,
Mr. Robinson,
from a humanistic point of view, where if you put that in writing, or you make that or you can't ever do this, there might become a time down the road where the church might decide that there is an emergency, there is a need to put people in the shelter, but your recommendation would prohibit them. I don't know. I'm not against this. I'm just looking at it from a. We tend to not in my neighborhood, okay, and everybody wants to say, oh yeah, I want to help the homeless, but not in my neighborhood. And when you look at the church, right, the church is in my neighborhood, it's in our neighborhood. And if the need ever arise later on, you would not want to be prohibited from having to help the homeless on a night where it is, minus 10 degrees outside. I'm not saying the church is going to do it, but I don't think that we should necessarily prohibit them from doing it unless.
May I interject? So our associate superintendent is, he's watching, and he has texted me, no cold shelter, not the gym nor the church. We will not do that. Father Phil has stated he has never opened the church as a cold shelter and agrees this will not be the use of the gym either.
In the special
And he says we would not open for emergency use
And
as
I
a
don't
cold
think-
weather shelter.
And I don't think that we need to put something in because the city controls that.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I don't think that we need to have an additional document of any type, since it's not allowable, especially by the diocese and by Father Phil.
Okay.
And I also think it's not necessary because they dealt with emergencies, hurricanes in the past, and I can say it because I was a member of the church at that time.
Well, I'll say this, Mr. Robinson, if there's any days that it's 10 below here, we got problems beyond whether we're going to use this facility as a shelter. So,
And Mr. Chair, I would just note that the application is for a special use permit
Special use permit.
to allow for the house of worship use and the gymnasium as an accessory use to that. They're not seeking a homeless shelter use, and that's a separate use under the Land Development Code. So by approving this special use permit, that's not going to authorize a homeless shelter at the church.
so even if we got to that point, that would be a discussion and a process for another day, is what you're saying to me. All right,
So
all
when
right.
we make the motion, we don't have to exclude it, correct?
Doesn't that make you happy, Pastor Bogdan, that you don't have to do that? Anything else
Yeah.
for this young lady, please? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything for Steve?
Yeah, question.
Please,
Steve.
please.
In order to bring the building up to compliance, what kind of upgrades would they have to do to come in compliance? Because I
So-
don't think it was listed.
Yeah, there's nothing we're proposing with the
okay.
existing structure. It's strictly the new,
Just the usage, okay.
just to bring it into compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. We do have a few speakers here. First, Emily Nice. Emily, please come up. Repeat your name again for us and your address, if you would, please.
Good evening. Emily Nice, 941 North Oleander. I'm here as the Seabreeze Neighborhood Watch chairperson and my own views as well. I hear a lot of comments, of course, and many neighbors are not wanting to necessarily come out and speak. That includes me as well. But anyway, we have some safety concerns here. We have University Boulevard, which is technically designated as a local road. Then we have Halifax, which, of course, is a major collector road. When we had the neighborhood meeting, that was not clarified, it was not mentioned, it was not discussed. And the reality of what we're dealing with over there in that section of our neighborhood is that it is very busy. And we get a lot of foot traffic, we get a lot of cars. University Boulevard is one of the main cut-throughs from A1A to Halifax. Other than that, we have Plaza further north, but we have some safety concerns because right now, University Boulevard has the entire length of the church property to the south, accommodating the right-of-way parking on the entire road. And what has been witnessed is, unfortunately, an unsafe situation where when children get out of school, they sometimes go right near the road, University Boulevard, to get into their cars. Actually, back in August, I was right there on the corner with a city employee because we were requesting that the intersection of Halifax and University be upgraded for better ADA features. And a small child, maybe 4 years old, ran out in the road trying to get to his parents' car before the parent arrived. So with all that parallel parking being available now and the two different driveway entrances on University, our request is that you take the entrances and exits off of University, close that off, and put it on Halifax so that it could more safely accommodate not only the vehicles, but the pedestrians as well. And of course, we have a lot of cyclists these days as well. So,
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. Thank you.
and I do want to congratulate the school. I think the gym's a great idea. It's just, let's make it safe. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Lauren Angelotti. I hope I came close on that. Please come up, restate your name and address if you would, please. Thank you.
I'm Lauren Angelotti, and I'm at 210 University, which is directly across the street. And I've owned my home about over 20 years. So I've been with the school a long time. It's amazing. I absolutely love the children, and so I'm out there quite often for safety. And they do have a food bank, and that food bank attracts all types of people. And a lot are not safe, okay? And during the day, they do enter the school, and we do have a police officer there. But as a resident, I'm constantly taking care of that situation. I also have the ginormous new street light that says kids are here, you know, the flashing one, that got put in this summer. And school's written in my driveway, which was never there prior, okay? And so the main thing is there's an elementary school up the road on Halifax, and then you have the Lady of Lourdes Elementary School. And then Seabreeze is up the road. There are not one flashing light on Halifax, none. And the children, actually, my neighbor kids that I see, because I get up and run in the morning, they take Halifax to school to get into Lady of Lourdes. I don't understand why that ginormous flashing light isn't there, telling people that are doing 35, but they're really doing 45. Slow down. Kids are coming out in and out of school. And like Emily said, she's my neighbor down the road, there's cars parked on that right of way all day, every day. And you cannot see the children. And it's really unfair, as far as I'm concerned, my children are older and I'm a grandma, that these children aren't safe in the neighborhood. And I'm not just talking Lady of Lourdes, I'm talking the new elementary school. And it just breaks my heart that they can't be kids. And the stuff that comes out of the food bank, which I comprehend you want to help them, I help them. But when they are there, Tuesday, Thursday, the first Saturday, they feel like they live there. And they do live there. And Father Phil, this last year, wow, he got cameras and lights, and he's really worked on it to get them not stay the night. It used to be a come as you are shelter. They just would come at night, it's 10 o'clock, whatever, pack their stuff, and have alcohol and fire pits and whatever, but Father Phil cleaned it up. So my big concern, if we don't do this right and do not put in that we have to have a permit, no homeless shelter in that gym. It's for the children. You know, and like they said, Father Phil does not open that church, it's locked. You can't even get in the church if you want to pray. So you have to go over to the Mother Mary. So I see everything that happens there all day, every day. It's my home life, my cameras show me it, and safety is first, like Emily said, and the gym's amazing. But we do need to take the children and keep them on that side safe, move them in and out on that location and out in Halifax. And the new elementary school, they go out on Halifax also. And there's no lights. So that's my big concern. And I have been to every meeting, you know, and I know that if I didn't come, you wouldn't know. And I love being by the church. Don't get me wrong, the bells are amazing. But it's safety first. And when we're doing this big investment, the future is important. You know, so I know you guys have a big choice. So.
Thank you, Lauren. We appreciate it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
can I ask her a question?
If you'd like to, yes.
Yeah. You
Please,
mentioned
please,
in
Lauren.
your comments.
Come on, back up to the podium if
Yeah.
you would, Lauren. Thank you.
You mentioned in your comments them and the type of people. Could you clarify that a little bit more for me, please?
I don't know the word for it. Because it's, I don't want to put them in a category. You know?
I was
Like
trying
my
to-
neighbors get food there.
Yeah.
I send people, because I work with the shelter. We do have a beautiful homeless shelter. You know, I work also in an outreach program, and I help people, and I cut hair for them. So I help people, and there's different categories. You know, ones need help, they're going for help. The other ones linger. We have had a couple in our neighborhood, mentally ill. The church has helped, everybody's helped. They've had a bike, a scooter, a wagon, 2 more bikes, they've sold everything, but they still live at the church. I have to call at 6 in the morning when the light starts flashing, ask the police to come here because they stayed the night somewhere, and the kids can't use the sidewalk. Okay, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And the police officers come and they have to do what they have to do. So there's all kinds of groups, so there's no word for anybody. People are just, some can be housed and still have issues. You can't even say they're unhoused. Do you see? We don't know. Unless I have this conversation and see what your story is, I don't know what's going on with you. So safety for the children comes first. That's it, just safety for the children. So if you went over there and saw, you would question the situation. And I have to say,
I
Father
would
Phil-
just want you to clarify what the type of people you were talking about, because people are people,
That's
regardless of color, race, or
Exactly, I'm not
ethnicity
saying.
or need. You know, that's
I agree with you.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you.
I think I'd like to make a comment.
If you would, sure.
I think that I know exactly where she lives, and I know the people that park there, and there is, you know, in the right of way, you know, because there is folks on the other side of the street that do park there that live there. I've seen them,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to argue the point. And I've seen, you know, people park there. I've seen them parked on the day. It is allowable. There's no signs that says you can't park there. It's like in front of Emily's house. They park down there on the side of the road. She's made an area in the right of way where the cars can park. And so I think that it's up to the city, not this board. I definitely agree with the lighting system, the intersection there. I totally agree, and it does something needs to be done. Warning signs and the traffic on Halifax, like I say, the speed limit's 35 and they do travel 45. But that's not something this board can judge. That's up to the city.
Understood. If I could interrupt, let's try to get through these speakers, and then we get to the point where we can discuss this and a
Is
little
there
more.
any
in
more
depth.
speakers?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking. I appreciate it. Thank you. Next, Mr. Nicholson. I'm looking for him. I don't see him.
He's here.
Oh, there he is. He's way in the
He's
corner there. Very stealth there, sir. You know the routine, John.
I may have remembered it once or twice.
You might have.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. There's a phrase, deja vu, all over again. About 15 years ago, we went through this. Daytona State College wanted to acquire the Catholic Church's property on White Street. And at that meeting, there were several people that came up and did not like the idea that there was going to be an expansion of Catholics in their neighborhood. Several of them made comments that you cannot trust those kind of people. We don't want those kinds of people in our neighborhood. I was offended by that, although the commission didn't feel it was offensive. I did. Bishop Tom Wensky came down personally to ask for it. We didn't have to. The church didn't have to have permission to build there, but they did. And with all the blowback, they ended up not selling the property to Daytona State College. They wanted dorms, which is logical. They needed to expand. It had nothing, to me, it had nothing to do with black, white, green, orange. It had nothing to do with Catholic, Protestant, or Jew. It is this Daytona State College wanted land to put a dorm. The church said, fine, we have another property on Ridgewood that we could build our property. And the anti-Catholic league came out in droves and it stopped it. So when this popped up again, because that's what stopped it the last time, is they were going to turn the school into a homeless shelter.
That's right.
Now you've got the same thing again. They're going to turn the school into a homeless shelter. Trust me, this is not, has nothing to do with turning a school into a homeless shelter. It's happened once before, it's happening again. So I'm asking you, please just squash that and just end this anti-Catholic garbage. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Steve, can I ask you to come back up? Would you mind? You've heard some of the discussions here talking about ingress and egress on University and some of the challenges here. What impact, if any, can you make from an engineering standpoint to perhaps address this?
Right. So our focus was more further to the north and kind of the ingress egress off of Halifax. So
Okay.
I would say that if we were closing or, kind of restricting access that is different than it is currently, there may be pushing more people and increasing, an already, existing condition. But the fact that the ingress egress has not changed, I look at it as we're adding additional parking. And again, it kind of goes back to kind of when is the use for the parking needed? Is it, during school hour? In any event, there's going to be, not an increase in students, but a place for them to go. But with that comes 46 additional parking spaces. So some of the issues that I hear of, parking in the right of way and so forth, and whether it's permitted or, it's compliance issue, we're actually providing additional parking to support, this accessory use, even though we don't believe really the demand, from a student standpoint is happening. The other thing about the speeding down Halifax, and so, other than, setting up enforcement out there, you really can't police that from a standpoint of design. We can do everything we can, but until someone's out there that's fears of getting a ticket, that's when they slow down. So from that standpoint, I don't know if that had answered your question.
I think it does. So what you're saying, essentially, at least what I'm hearing, is status quo plus 46 parking spaces.
Yes.
Is what we're saying here. Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, please.
Is there a possibility on Halifax between the school that you couldn't make it a school requested becomes a school zone when the school is open with a flashing light to slow down the traffic?
You mean take it further further north.
For the north and, beyond the,
Well, right now, we're just, at the special use stage, so we haven't gotten into detailed design and
okay,
so forth. So I know there's comments, and there'll be additional review when we come in with the actual details and all those supporting calcs for that. But I guess to clarify, what you're asking is if the school zone could be extended further to the north?
yeah,
I mean,
To
I
slow
would
down
assume that's a
traffic.
city traffic.
that's a city.
Yeah, that would be a city public works question. I can raise the question with the public
Yeah.
works director and make them aware of it, and maybe they can start looking at that. But as
Because that
far-
would alleviate some of the fears of the residents in terms of safety. I mean, that would be the first thing ought to be put up because there is a school there, and you should have a flashing light here and a flashing light here, and occasionally.
I can raise the point.
Yes.
I can raise the point.
Thank you.
Anything else, please?
Is Halifax a county or a state road? It's not
think
a
it's-
city road.
I
believe it's city.
thought it was city.
Is it city? Because there's, Peninsula is so strange. They have, down where I live, it's DOT or county.
I think it's county, Peninsula
And
is,
then,
but Halifax, I
and
believe,
then
is
the
a city
city
road.
takes it over
Yeah.
from ISB, and I didn't know whether it extended that far or not.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident it's a city road, but I'm going to speak to the public works director, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Anything else for Steve? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Folks, I'm just wondering, as we're listening to what's being said here tonight, there appears that there is a number of folks that have very definitive concerns about this gymnasium being used as a shelter. Now, there's been discussion that that's already been addressed, and I certainly can appreciate that. And understanding discussion of could there be a possible emergency circumstance that we don't contemplate today, and how would you deal with that if that time came? And I can appreciate that. But my thought would be either we look at this to have the motion include excluding the shelter use so that we eliminate from our standpoint, not necessarily from the churches, but from the city standpoint, all possibility that that use can be utilized. Either we go that route or we eliminate that condition and we just vote on the motion as is. So I just ask for a little discussion on direction of where we would like to go, members.
I think, with this board here, it's our objective to either pass the way that is on our agenda. It's not our responsibility right now to add something as far as safety goes or whatever. I know that people have talked to the city attorney. I assume they've talked to Ben, about adding certain things, but I don't see it's our responsibility on this board to do that.
How's everyone else feel?
I
Pastor?
think we can make a motion that if you add it without shelter usage, I think you can put that on there if you're making a motion, and you can either vote for yeah or nay and go with it.
Right. So
It's quite clear from the church and school use standpoint that they will not use it for a shelter. It is, they have made it quite clear. So if that's their policy and procedure, I don't see why we can just leave the motion as it is and just vote for it and move on.
And I think we'd be setting up some kind of precedent and expectations for every time somebody brings in a request or a special, that we should just leave it as it is. There was no objection or indication from the client that they're going to do that.
And that's their policy and procedure.
They have already established their policy and
Let's
procedure.
keep in mind, folks, as well, that if we approve this item with the condition of not having shelters. Remember, we're not the last bite of the apple, the city commission is. And we kick it upstairs and let our good friends on commission either accept that condition or eliminate that condition, because at the end of the day, they're going to make the ultimate decision. So that may be an approach to take too. So at this point, I would ask for a motion on item 4B. I will say I'm inclined to include the exclusion for the shelter, so there is no ambiguity and no discussion about whether that is a permittable use or not. But if others feel differently, of course, that's your right, of course. So with that, Pastor, sir.
Well, let me, for clarity, Dennis, I just to make sure. They are not, are they allowed? Is this a permittable use as far as the city? Either one, David, either one.
It is not a permitted use.
Okay.
So why put it in there?
So then there's no need to put it in there. Okay.
There's no need.
All right, that clears it up. All right, so I make a motion that we approve agenda item 4B, special use permit, DV 2024-721, place of worship, Our Lord's, Lady of Lords.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aye. Motion passes 4-1. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
you are permitted to put in another motion to include whatever you want to do.
I'm completely fine with.
Okay.
But it passed the way it is.
Yeah, it passed
If
the way it
didn't
is,
pass.
so
Okay, Ms.
that's good, but thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, moving forward on to.
Excuse me.
Yes,
We have 4-1. Who was the one?
I'm the one.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Yep. I'm the one. Okay, moving
I
on.
abstain, Mr. Chair.
Excuse me?
My vote was, I abstained from voting.
3-1.
Oh, 3-1, I'm sorry.
Yes, because I don't want any,
Okay.
appearance.
Improprieties we discussed. My apologies. Not that we are assuming anything, of course.
I'm awake
All right,
today.
moving
So we
forward.
got 3-1.
You have 3-1.
With one
That's on
abstention.
number 2. Y'all threw me off.
We like that, it's close to the holidays, people are getting excited. Moving on to item number 5, other business. Madam
Item
Secretary?
number 5.
No, you're
Item
good,
number
you're good.
4B.
We've already done 4B.
Okay, that is, okay.
Don't
Item-
worry, don't need to do 5, but let me handle it from here. I got this, I got this. Anything from the downtown redevelopment board, please.
I was at the Beachside Redevelopment Board, and the one good thing that I heard about it, Police Chief Young come in and said that they were going to, or they're having additional police added to the force, and it's going to have a patrol now back on the boardwalk
Wow,
where it solely needs it.
it does.
And they stopped it a few years ago without not enough police officers. So he let the Beachside board know that they're going to have extra police patrols there.
That's good.
Good.
And they also have some additional police in the downtown area. And so I think it's just a good thing to hear that they're on it.
Very good, thank you. Thanks for that report. Midtown, anything from Midtown redevelopment? How about Beachside?
He just gave me.
Okay. Oh, that was Beachside,
That was
okay.
Beachside.
Oh, you kind of pulled ahead of the curve there, okay. Affordable housing, we didn't meet. Going on to item 5E, Mr. Nicholson. What you got for us, sir?
It's at 413 North Grandview Avenue. To address Kathy, so you can quote the 3 issues. One, submerged land.
I knew it.
You absolutely should have known it after 20 years.
20-some-odd years.
Yep. It's going to come by and bite us in the butt if we don't do something, and I'm asking you again, because I did not like what happened on Beach Street when they wanted to put that huge hotel literally on the street. The gentleman that wanted to put the marina right behind these people's homes They have the submerged land, they can do these things unless we make sure that they don't. So I would ask you to, at some point, at least discuss it, and then put it to rest, but please, at least discuss it. I've talked to Dennis with regard to the automobiles, the parking spaces for the hotels. That's been addressed, he says, knock on wood, because I'm absolutely hoping that we get a few more hotels going in south of Pier, which is right in the middle of the confluence of everything. So, and then density. We definitely need more density. We can't keep moving out west and out west and out west. At some point, it's going to end, and we'll flood, I don't know, Tampa if we keep doing it as far as we're going.
Whoa.
So that is that issue. And the second issue is when we do the landscaping, I've noticed that within a year, the landscaping, they put in all this landscaping, then all of a sudden it's gone, all right? So I don't know whether we're requiring too much landscaping, but maybe we should look at it so that it's sustainable landscaping. So whatever they put in is minimal maintenance so that it will maintain itself over 5 or 10 years and that it doesn't have to be kept up every weekend. Because that gets expensive, people don't want to do it, and that landscaping is what you see when you see a building. So we might want to take a look at that. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
Merry
John.
Christmas.
Back at you. Okay, moving to staff comments. Dennis? anything?
Thank you. We've got two items. One of them is, the first is the approval of the 2026 Planning Board meeting schedule. This includes all the meetings being on the fourth Thursday of the month, with the exception of November and December, where we bump it up to the third Thursday of the month because of the holidays. So we'll need an approval of the schedule.
good. Could I have a motion regarding the 2026 schedule, please?
I make a motion, we approve 2026 Planning Board meeting schedule.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Back to you, Dennis.
Okay, and the next one is the election of the officers. Mike McLean is finishing up his second term as the Planning Board Chair, and he terms out with the second term. So we will need a new Planning Board Chair, a Vice Chair, and Secretary votes. So nominations and votes for those as well.
I thought just to make this easy, why don't we start with Chair? Any nominations for the role of Chair, please?
I would nominate the vice chair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Do we have a second? Any other discussion? Any other nominations? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Mr. Chair, to be, sir. All right, now, moving on, now that we have a chair who was the vice chair, now we need to find a vice chair. So, do we have any nominations in that regard? And I would ask you not to nominate me, and you'll find out here in a few minutes.
I was wondering, we have a gentleman here that's been the chair before, why couldn't he be the vice chair?
I like the discussion, and I like the quick point. That was very, very, very good. We know that Pastor Barhu would do an excellent job as he has done in his roles of both chair and vice chair. So do we have a second for vice chair? Thank you. Any discussion, any other nominations? All in favor of Pastor Barhu as vice chair, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Congratulations, sir.
I wasn't for sure.
And I know. And I can't throw any emotions around, but I think we'd be crazy if we didn't keep our current secretary in this job.
I make a motion.
I make a motion.
Second discussion. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Okay, we got that all done. Congratulations to all three of you.
Oh, glory.
Use your pen.
My pen just stopped right.
That's why I'm here, Madam Secretary. I'm here for you. I am here for you. Okay, we got that done. Any board member comments, please?
I have a
Pastor.
board member comment, or two things. The first thing is that I've heard concerns about our downtown Daytona is beautiful. I think they did a lot of upgrades, but I heard from a lot of residents or folks that's parking that side parking, slant parking, backing up becomes an issue with the traffic coming down one way. Sometimes there are vans, and if you're in a car and there's a van next to it, you can't see when you're backing up. So that has been some issues with several folks that I've heard from Beach Street.
I missed the beginning of that. I was talking.
No. Just I say it's beautiful. I mean, downtown Daytona, Beach Street,
Beach
it's
Street,
wonderful.
backing
Yeah.
up, yeah.
But just coming out and you have a lot of folks that use those facilities down there, and I know the dentist office I go to and some of the other stuff there. But just coming out when you're backing up, you can't see the traffic that's actually coming, and that causes a lot of issues for especially the older folks.
Yeah, fortunately, the speed limit has been really reduced because of that, so it makes it a much safer environment to walk around as well. But yeah, I get back there, and first thing I do when I jump in my car is I look to see if there's any cars coming, so I'll be able to back out.
Right, but I know folks that there was a van parked there, and you in a car and you're trying to back up and traffic come in. Even by the time you get in your car and go in, and that causes issues. So I don't know what they can do about it, but that's something that they need to really look at. And my second thing is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir.
Now, before you go anyplace else,
Yes.
before I forget,
Yes.
who did we elect as chair for the new year?
Mr. Weather.
He's sitting to your left. That
Okay.
good-looking young man to your left.
The young guy.
The young guy.
See, I got it backwards.
Okay. So we got Vernon as chair, Tony's vice chair, and guess who's secretary? I bet we don't have to
The
give you
only
two
lady.
guesses on that. That's it. Thank goodness.
And
Thank
who was
goodness.
co-chair?
That would be Pastor
Barhu.
Pastor
Oh,
Barhu.
and Cat Barhu. Okay. All righty then.
Are we
ready
good?
to go?
Yay. Vernon, any comments, sir?
No, sir.
All right. Kathy, anything?
No, I'm glad it's about over.
Mr. Robinson, anything you'd like to say?
Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, and y'all be safe out there.
Thank you, sir.
So we want to see you back next year.
All right, very good. Well, I need to make a quick comment here. This will be my last meeting on the planning board, and I apologize, Milton, to you. I meant to get to you to let you know. I could see the surprised look on your face. I was able to get to our fellow members here. A lot of reasons. One is my wife Lisa and I, we plan to do a lot more traveling in the coming year, and we're going to be gone a lot and have some other new adventures we're involved with.
I don't want to come and sit with us.
That's how, are you kidding me? No way. And one thing that I'm really going to be excited about, my daughter is putting together and is doing a sourdough bagel business in Orlando. Hey, be coming near you guys. She's doing 1,000 a week, so she's doing really well.
Wow.
But she needs a little help on a business sense, and she somehow thinks her father. Free labor will help her out, which I said that I would do that. So we're going to do that. I've really enjoyed my time here with you guys. I really have. I remember my very first meeting when Jeff Hunt had been here for so long. And I remember you guys all looking at me saying, who's that guy? You could just, and from that I've learned so much from each of you, and I've enjoyed my time here very much. I'd like to thank all of you. I'd like to thank staff. You guys do an excellent job. You know this, we've talked about it in our meetings that we had before coming in here today. I've been blessed to work with all of you. I'd like to say this isn't goodbye, but so long for now, because the future, no one knows what may come out of it. So thank you. Thank you for enjoyed the time with you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and of course, for our Canadian friends, Happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing
very,
Day.
very important.
Yes, sir.
Anything else to the good of the order? If not, we are adjourned.
We are adjourned.